isipan, Gopalakas. Malinis na paligid, mabuting kalooban. Gopalakas, hangad na maglingkod sa kapwa't kaibigan. Gopalakas, alagaan natin si inang kalikasan. Halika na totoo sa kalikasan at kapwa-tao. Isa buhay natin ito. Gopala, Gopala, Kalusugan, pangkalikasan. Gopalakas.
A pleasant good morning. Yeah.
Good morning to everybody.
Good morning to everybody. Alam nyo, it's been rainy throughout the country these past few days.
Yeah, buti na lang.
Are we
But-
happy?
Yes.
Yeah,
We're happy
you know,
with the rain, yes.
just as the sunshine brings about,
Life. We also need
yung
water.
parang liveliness,
Yes.
water is the same. That sometimes we tend to complain that, ay, umuulan na naman, I can't do the normal things. But yet, we have to learn to always be learning to absorb or to understand what are real blessings in life, to be satisfied.
It's appreciate
Diba?
what we have.
And I'm sure pagdating ng summer at nagkakakulangan sa tubig, magpapasalamat tayo na dagdagan yung tubig
O
ng mga
umulan.
dams dahil umulan,
Yeah,
hindi
so-
ba?
And there are times, you have to also be appreciative to the fact that, kasi minsan, pag there are things that doesn't happen the way we want it to, or, wow, there's an inconvenience this morning, may ulan, or, I have to wear this, or I have to, madudumihan yung sasakyan ko, hindi ako makapagsampay, or there's going to be an inconvenience, di ba?
Yes.
But, yet,
Di kasi the others lang had too much rain. Tayo dito sa La Union, we
Hindi,
really,
tsaka nga,
really need
binaha
it.
yung mga
Oo.
tao sa Marikina,
Yes,
hindi
oo.
ba?
well, when there's flooding, we should not be, in a whole creative setting. May plans eh. Just as you see how the seasons change, the cycles in nature takes place. May purpose lahat yan eh. At saka may controller yan. May nagdidikta yan. May nagmamanage yan. It is not us. It is when we begin to kind of, feel the inconvenience of it and we begin to question, or have doubts. Bakit ganyan? Because it's affecting whatever we have, whatever we do.
Siguro din ito sign na yung mga ng mga cities dapat ilayo sa mga banks na pwedeng mag-overflow.
Yes, everything has to, just as in nature, everything has cycles and planning. Right?
Right.
We should learn to work with nature
Yun.
and not be against nature. And we can program or schedule our life, even plan our life based on what the natural setting is. The more you do this, the more you be attuned with nature, the more balanced your life will be. When it gets to your health, it gets to the food you eat, which is seasonal. Ang daming bagay niyan eh. Most people who are very much like farmers, may mga taong ganyan eh, mga agriculture, in the field of agriculture, our lives are set in such a way that it's based on the cycles,
Seasons.
on the
oo.
seasonal cycles that takes place. And we adapt to it. We take advantage of it. If it's dry season, then we grow dry season crops. Diba? If it's rainy season, we grow rainy season crops. So
Kailangan
you have to be
mag-adjust
attuned.
lang.
You have to
Yes.
adjust. And don't be
Just
so...
go with the flow.
Yeah, don't be so parang, oh, sobra naman yung ulan. Oh, sobra naman init. We
to
should
see the bigger
we should
picture,
be resilient enough and be satisfied on what we are getting, because we have to recognize this as a blessing.
I'm sure the trees, the plants were all very happy, with
sobra
the
yun.
rain. They were nourished, rehydrated, di ba?
If you live in a farm or in like a forest farm, you will always feel how when it rains at night, for example, you wake up the next morning, kunyari
Sarap
palabas
ng
yung araw,
tulog.
you will feel immediately like the vibe is very different.
Yes.
Iba yung
Parang
pakiramdam.
na-relieve lahat ng halaman.
Right.
It brings about that parang relief. And when relief comes, di ba may satisfaction din.
Ayun. Pumasok na yung
Brings
topic
up
natin
our-
ngayon, satisfaction from service. The rains also give service, hindi ba? Para
Right.
mag-benefit tayong
provides a
lahat.
lot for everyone.
Not only that, kasi it is provided, nature provided for us,
Mother
our Creator
Nature
provided
is the
for us,
one.
just so that we can all perform what we need to do, the service or activities we need to perform.
Yes.
See, without it, can you imagine? No water,
Naku.
Naku, mahirap
or lack
yan.
of water, or lack of moisture, or the coolness of your situation, will be in so much anxiety all the
Torture
time.
yan.
Yeah.
Okay, yan. Maraming bumabati na po sa ating lahat.
Early
Yan.
morning. Yeah.
Si,
Puro good morning greetings.
si
Oo.
Kalindi Relova, Ruben Luntok, and Ananda Ngo, Dixie Palmos, Karkar. Mga taong tiga Karkar from
From Cebu. Yeah.
And Matt Resurrection.
From Cavite.
Yes, and Muriel Go. And Kath Nanta. Okay, good day sa inyong lahat din. We're all happy that you are joining us this wonderful morning. Yes. So our title for today is all about satisfaction derived from serving. Okay? Satisfaction from service. Kasi baka akala nila yung satisfaction from service, pag sinilbihan ka, anong rating mo sa yung satisfaction mo na pag may sa yung waiter or may nagluto, ano bang rating na satisfaction mo? Now, this is what you derive when you actually give to others, no? And this is one thing that I would like to share this morning is a quote from Anne Frank. Most people may have heard about Anne Frank, who actually wrote, di ba, her diary during the World War. And she has this insight: no one has ever become poor by giving.
Yeah, very
Well,
nice. oo.
kasi natatakot yung ibang magbigay kasi, ay, mauubusan ako, parang they have this fear na sila yung kukulangin sila. Pero yung mga milyonaryo, inisip pa rin na kukulangin sila, hindi ba?
Sobra.
They always feel na kulang yung kanilang pondo, kulang yung kanilang mga, facilities. They have so many cars, so many clothes, and yet they feel they cannot relinquish and share kasi baka kulangin daw.
No, even just a tiny bit.
Pero ang sinasabi nga ni Anne Frank, no one has ever become poor by giving.
Kasi ang balik nun, kaligayahan.
Yes. And
Real happiness.
blessings din,
Yes.
no? Actually, when you give to others, there is actually something that you can actually relish in your heart, as well as you are blessed. You are, meron naman tayong tinatawag kasing pious acts,
Yes.
di ba? Na
Yes.
sinasabi na when you render
Sharing and giving, or you're rendering service,
Yes.
these are pious activities. Activities that are innate, o kaya kunyari by nature,
Oo.
we should be doing. And we can understand the consequence, or we can experience the very impact of such activity in our own lives. No? Like if you find that, there are many living entities in the world, in the environment, that are basically, everything that they do is well just beyond for their need, you can see. Mga puno, anything. So oxygen, everything, But yet, syempre, because they're a lower species, they cannot be expressing like as human beings. But sa atin, we're given this gift of being able to share experiences that is satisfying within, Example, there's this, I don't know, yung mga enthusiast ng mga MMA, particular MMA player, fighter. He's Poirier, his name. Lalaban siya bukas eh. Connor. Anyway, ang ano niyan,
When we think of these fighters,
we always think of fighters, aggression, and but this fellow is quite different. Very soft heart. Many of his earnings goes to charity.
Wow.
Building
nice.
wells in Africa or
good.
where he's coming from in towns, having
ng
playgrounds for children. And, coming in from somebody who's like, wow, yung impression mo, prize fighter. You normally mean they're nasty, they don't have really good traits, but this fellow,
payabangan lagi.
immediately, he just gives, he said, itong si, Conor, kalaban niya, si McGregor, he's one of the nastiest MMA na champion yung complete opposite yung kanilang traits, no? Now, McGregor needed to go. Sinabi niya rin, I'm going to give $500,000 of what my earnings are going to be in this fight. So he was put in a spot.
Yes,
Bigla
that's
siya.
nice, di ba? Yun nga eh. When you help others, napapagaya yung iba.
Yes, nice example na
I'd like to
nasundan.
share also an
Oo.
example. No? I'll start from the beginning. Okay, so the story
Sorry,
goes...
we're having some trouble here, technical, but let's
Yeah.
continue.
Okay, so this lady was being interviewed and she was asked what she did during the time na lockdown na nga siya. She lost her job. And sabi niya, well, I was just at home doing nothing. So I wanted to do something to help others. She's really good at making pizza. No, and she loves making pizza anyway. She decided, sige, gawa siya ng pizza. Namigay siya sa mga frontline workers that lived in her same condominium. No? And people liked it. And so she kept doing it, And she was just really giving away. No, like
Walang
kasi,
bayad.
yeah. And so I remembered when you said your quotation, kasi parang, walang bayad, how did she do it, no? And then she said, so they asked her, why did you do it? How come you're just giving away? She said, actually, I lost my mother to COVID.
Oh.
Yeah. And her mother, nung buhay pa, was always teaching them the value of helping others. Her mom said, pag nagkaroon ng disgrasya or, some really terrible event, you should do what you can to help others.
Yes.
Siya yun ang talagang galing niya. Magaling siya magawa ng pizza. So, she would give it away. She put them even in boxes. When you open the box, nakasulat doon, love from mom.
Wow, very
Because she
personal
said,
message.
she said it's a way for her to, remember her mother and keep her legacy of helping others. So, I think it's a beautiful story.
Yes.
A very good example.
Very down to earth, very simple, and
Yes.
yet very heartwarming yung story
Yes.
na
And
ganyan.
talaga you can see, although she was giving for free, she was getting enriched by that experience.
Correct. Actually, mas masaya tayo pag nagbibigay, di ba? It is better to give than to receive. And here, sinabi nga ni Ronald Reagan, he was the president of a very powerful country. And he said here that we can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone. Okay, so makita natin her story. She's not thinking big na, I have to help the whole country here. But kung ano yung maabot nung kanyang ginawa niya.
Yes.
So her endeavor, her effort is reaching out, let's say, to the people in her area, and yet ilan yung mga taong na touch, no? Hindi ba by that?
oo.
Yeah, like this one, Justin Poirier, I'm saying, MMA fighter. Tinanong siya, yung in-interview siya, why is he doing what he's doing? To the
Kasi
point
ang
that he
dami
set
niyang
up a foundation,
pinapamigay.
all of his earnings are going to it, and he's just getting a little bit for his training and for his needs. Ang sabi niya, it's a work that comes from my heart. Yung trabaho niya that's coming from his heart, yung ganon. So, he's guided by it. So, sabi niya, more than anything else, sabi niya then, it's basically serving. That's what I feel like. Sabi niya, it's my service to everybody. Now, in the world we live in, we should always try to understand that maraming tao, always, there are many of us, with the goodness of our hearts, in our hearts, we share, we give. And there are people like this, they bring about the best of other people. Yung goodness, kasi pag may ganyan ka makasama, mahahawa ka dyan or nakakahawa dahil you look at the person.
Yun ang magandang pandemya. Everybody learns to help.
Gusto nating i-spread. Hindi
Right.
virus, pero yung love.
Yeah, by giving.
Actually, I'd like to ask our listeners at this point to please comment on our account. What kind of what have you shared, or what are you thinking of sharing with others?
Yeah, or what have you experienced,
Yes,
in
oo.
your being
Yes, kasi-
helpful to others?
Kasi like this lady nga, pizza, chinare niya. Parang wala pa ako narinig na ganung story. Baka kayo, meron rin na kayo na-share, not even to many, but maybe even to one person. And that you have experienced happiness in doing so. So you can share your story. You can share your story with us.
Yeah.
Your comments with us while we are having this discussion. And then, we could also share that with our other listeners.
Okay, let's greet Rosalinda Loscano from Guam. And,
Guam.
No, she's from
Japan.
Japan.
Right.
Okinawa.
Yes,
Okinawa, sorry.
Okinawa.
Okay.
An island also.
An island. And the
Leo.
Maynigo tribe, yeah.
Leo Duller.
Di ba?
Yeah.
Leo, yeah.
And
Good morning.
Then, yes, okay. So from Maynigos are here from La
La
Union.
Union,
Yes. Okay. Thank you for joining
Good
us.
morning.
Okay. So another thing I'd like to share here is from John Holmes. There is no better exercise for the heart than reaching down and lifting people up. Okay.
Yes, uplifting.
not to be
yan.
taken literally, okay? Pag mabigat yun.
You try to lift a person physically, medyo baka ma-back injury tayo. Pero
But that's so true, isn't
It's
it?
about the
No? When you help
consciousness of
others,
people.
the heart from
Yeah.
your
you lift their mood. Yeah, very
Yes.
nice.
And actually, basically speaking, your heart needs such exercise.
Talaga.
Kumbaga, kailangan maging matatag yung puso natin, maging mag-grow yung ating heart in love, and by doing such activities, such little actions of helping and sharing, tumitibay, mas magiging malakas ang
Lalakas ang
ating
puso.
puso. Okay? So, isipin mo, kung mag-exercise ka lang, puro physical, pero yung kalooban naman ay hindi natin na-exercise. Walang rejuvenation,
Baka lumiit yung muscle ng heart.
Or kung hindi yun,
Mahihina.
kung hindi naman yun, the tendency is sometimes
Titigas yung
when we
puso.
are stressed, that's the one. When
Yeah.
things are not working out, we don't have something to fall back on. Actually, when a person lives his life in such a way that there are hindrances, there are difficulties that we're faced with. People who are in a mode of goodness, or in a pious mode, or in a pious way of life, consciousness
oo.
nila, the tendency for them when things come their way, it's like, it's just one of those things that will pass.
They can take it in stride,
Yeah,
no?
they can take it in stride. And also, most importantly, they look at it as an opportunity to get better.
Oh, yes.
Always
Oo.
helping.
It's helpful. And people who are always sharing and giving, the satisfaction is deep inside of them. And they will never be put in a situation where parang hindi sila kontento o may pagkukulang sila. And such longing for more, to do more service, because once you feel that experience in your heart of service, it's addictive yan eh. It's a better it's a better addiction eh.
Oo
And it
nga.
goes deep.
Positive.
Yeah, it's a very positive. It makes a difference for other
Tsaka
people's life.
long term,
And also your
Long-term
own
yung
life,
effect,
you know.
At saka actually, people think na, walang nag-appreciate. Kasi minsan meron akong ganung narinig sa isang kaibigan. Ay, binibili ko nga ng pagkain yung mga kasama ko, pero hindi nagpapasalamat sa akin. Sabi niya ganon. So, hindi na ako bumibili. Sabi niya ganon. So, actually, there's somebody who recognizes all our sharing and all our good deeds, no? Which is our supreme friend. And he knows what we're doing, even in secret, you know? And therefore, siya naman ang nagbibigay ng kaligayahan.
And you know, it's from the goodness of our heart when you talk about that. Who are you with? Hindi, sino kasama natin sa puso natin? Di ba siya?
Pag napaligaya mo isang tao, kasi the Lord is in their heart. At the Lord in your heart makes you feel the satisfaction. That's how it
Yes.
works out, di ba?
Actually nga, ang satisfaction po ay yung wealth talaga natin. And it's what actually drives a lot of people, you know, makita natin, people in our histories, nakita natin, sakripisyo, pero maligaya sila. They're not the people na naggalit, naging envious, naging bitter, but they were people that actually very happy, very peaceful, very content in their life, you know,
Yeah.
talagang satisfied sila.
Yeah. Actually, ganyan yung ating mga kababayan, di ba, who are overseas. They're away from home.
Yes.
They're working very hard, saving so much, and using only a tiny bit for themselves para makapagpadala dito sa ating bansa, sa kanilang mga minamahal sa buhay. So, they know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
you know, the
in
satisfaction of
in so many
helping
ways,
others. So,
everybody is engaged in some type of work. Everybody needs to work.
And it's natural for us, hindi ba,
Yeah.
na to serve. This is
Right.
a real natural tendency or function is to
Right.
actually be serving.
Kasi it's to whom we are working for and why we are working. Why are we doing such action? So this is where the changing dynamics or the levels of consciousness of people is seen, you know. If you see a person who's got, you know, yung goodness and purity in mind in his life, you will find that all his action is directed towards satisfying first God, and then what is next? It is to satisfy everybody else.
Yes.
You know, caring, showing that. So
maybe some
it's a
people,
lifestyle.
not everyone kaya nila.
Yeah.
Even just the next guy that you meet who needs some help, you help. You know, don't always think that it has to be big. Yeah,
Or
it can be
service
a
is something
tiny
like,
thing.
parang ang hirap. No.
Oo. And it's not like
Yeah.
you're going to be a slave of someone forever. Hindi. It's just every opportunity that you can help somebody. Go ahead and do it, and you will see how nice
And
it is.
actually, what happens when you act on this urge to and tendency to serve is that you become happy. At the same time, when you become insensitive to the suffering of others, yung sinasabi mong titigas yung puso, talagang yon. Yun ang parang, sige, hayaan mo na lang sila magdusa. O sige, bahala sila sa buhay nila. Wala akong pakialam sa kanila. This is what actually leads to hard-heartedness, you
Yes,
know. When you are seeing, kaya nga yung sabi nung mother, yung example mo, pag merong problem or suffering nakikita mo, tumulong ka. Kasi there's two things. Either tutulong ka or idededma mo. Hindi ba? Tutulong ka or you turn your back.
Parang pinapatigas mo yung puso mo. Matutuluyan yan pag hindi ka nagtulong, di ba?
Di ba? Hindi mo na mapansin or ayaw mo nang pansinin yung paghihirap ng ibang tao. So actually, very easy naman to help others. You know, it doesn't have to take even a lot of money. Because even sharing wisdom is actually one of the great things that we can actually give. Meron ngang sinabi dito na, meron tayong mga kaibigan na bumate, si Harry Kapulong, Henry Yomo.
Harry.
Yomo.
Harry, yes.
Yeah, from Ilocos Norte
Henry
yan.
and Harry are brothers kasi.
I
And
see.
Clifford.
Clifford.
from La Union.
Yeah, from La Union.
And then of course, Janet Paredes. Oh, good morning, Janet.
Yes, our
Nice.
good friend.
And
Good
again,
friend and
from
man.
Baguio, she's saying sharing really makes us
Truly happy.
truly happy deep,
Deep
inside.
inside.
Oh, yun na masarap, yung malalim yung kaligayahan,
Yes.
di
Yeah.
ba? Kasi mas tumatagal po yung kaligayahan na malalim. Minsan nga, meron mga tao na tinulungan mo years ago, hindi ba? Tapos
And you don't even remember doing it.
Yes, and then they come to you and they
Yeah.
say, "Oh, ma'am, ikaw yung nagturo sa akin ito." Actually, ma'am, today we have a reunion for some of the students na homeschool namin through many years. And that's when you hear how they learn from you and everything. Actually, teachers, as a teacher, they're not giving out money.
Oh
hindi
yeah,
ba?
but they're giving us all their time and effort.
Yes, they're sharing knowledge. Maganda yan, hindi ba? Kahit naman sa martial arts teaching, meron
Yeah.
ding serving yun eh.
The discipline. Actually,
Oo, hindi ba?
being in a position of teaching is a leadership position, and it's an influential position. It depends on the consciousness or the person who's engaged in that activity and the purpose of why this person is teaching. True teachers, they're sharing or their teaching encompasses sometimes time and place pa yan eh. It goes beyond that. Because the impact that they may have in somebody else's life is far-reaching.
Service yan
Yeah.
eh. And actually, marami tayong maalalang mga teachers in the past, hindi ba? Kahit naman papaano, ang dami nilang araw na binigay at oras para tayo ay tulungan, and we have all benefited from whatever they taught, whether it's math or English
Or singing. I remember our English teacher, Miss Kamu. Thank you, Miss Kamu, if you're listening.
It's mentioned there that, leadership, right? The leaders were all expected to be of certain qualities, which bring about the true caring and goodness to their people.
Yes.
So, we
They're
find
actually servants.
Yeah, they're
The
really
leaders are
servants.
actually
servant leadership yan.
Public servants nga ang tawag dapat sa mga leaders.
Nalilimutan
di
nila
ba?
yung servant part. Yung iba.
Oo. Actually, kung hindi po sila nag-render ng tunay na service, yun nga, nagkakaroon sila ng, they take advantage na lang of a position. Instead of serving, then self-serving, di ba?
Right.
Yung para lang sa sarili. And you can see that there are politicians sometimes, or not just politicians, but people in power who have become very insensitive to the suffering of people. And siguro may epekto yung sinasabi nating yung hard-heartedness. Oy, may kanta tayo. Gusto nating pwedeng i-share
Yeah.
kasi ito yung meron tayong message din sa isang kanta. Okay.
From
you
our-
guys know the
From
Rolling
our
Stones
days when we were still
of the
young.
70s and late 60s, you
Okay,
know.
this song fits
The
this
song
topic.
fits our topic this morning. Mick Jagger and his group, the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hello to Francis. Yeah. Napapasayaw ko kami. No satisfaction. I can get
Okay.
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 Okay, that's still relevant today, huh?
Yan, napaka Ano nung kantang yan, nakakagising, no?
You know, during those days, everybody knew that. You know, up to
very
this
popular
point.
song.
Actually, naging ano yan eh, parang iconic yung kanta yun eh, di ba? Hindi malimutan ng tao na.
One of the popular songs.
But it has a deeper message.
Yan, may message.
No matter how much you pipigain yung whatever you have, things in this
Material
world. But if
wala.
it's directed towards your own self, there can never be
Real
real
satisfaction.
satisfaction.
Bitin.
Because we were not as human beings, we were not as designed to be self-serving. We're social beings. We have to interact with everybody else too. You know, that's why we have families, we have relatives, we have communities, you know. And this is an opportunity for many of us to be able to render service
Yes.
and share and bring
Yes.
about the best that we can as in human beings, the goodness, right?
Yes.
And learning from others is also such an experience, you know.
Oh, we
Diba?
have this message from Matt Resurrection. Yeah, he's sharing. Would
So-
you like to read that?
Okay, I remember when Yolanda hit some parts of the Philippine Islands, and I've been invited by Care to assist the victims building temporary shelters, cook food, and giving wisdom. I said to
them.
I said to them, thank
Thanks, Yolanda, for
thanks,
giving me an
Yolanda.
opportunity to meet new friends and render service to them.
Oh, yun.
You know.
Sabi nga nung isang tao din I was I got some feedback. Sabi daw nung isang tao, masaya kami that nagland daw ang Care sa Leyte at that time. I know that was in Cebu. That nagtulong kami dun sa rehab ng Bogo, Cebu. And yes, they were very happy, you know.
Hindi
Kasi
ba umabot nga kayo doon ng ilang buwan?
ilang
Oo,
buwan.
hanggang
but-
Pasko pa.
There are
Biyernes,
many opportunities here, you know.
Yes. Okay, so basically speaking, yan ang magandang makukuha natin na yung Mick Jagger, yung mga ganun, sabi lang, I can't get no satisfaction. Pero sinasabi ni Matt Resurrection, I got satisfaction. Okay, by helping the Yolanda victims. And true, there's a lot of people who experience satisfaction, but not in the material sense na, you know, having the wealth. Kasi mga Amerikano, they're first world country, you know, they've got, lalo na yung mga mayayaman, but yet, their experience is that they have no satisfaction. Diba?
Yeah.
So, meron din, sabi, sinto
From
si
Merly.
Lee, I salute you for the service
Service.
that you do. And from Yogi Padilla, good morning, Gopalakas. Imelda Avino, thank you po. God
God
bless
bless.
you po. Thank you then. God bless
Francisco
you too.
is
Francis,
listening in.
Hi, Francis.
yes.
Hi, Francis.
Oo.
Okay.
Okay.
But, you know, with service, we are given such potential to be able, even no matter, you know, it doesn't have boundaries of sino lang pwede mag-serve eh.
Oo.
Di ba?
Kahit
Even
bata.
children.
Oo.
We hear of stories of children sharing what they have to others. You know, one thing I could appreciate, in the days when we were in school, nalala ko, because you know I was an athlete. I was a star athlete actually, soccer player. Everything I played. Every Saturday, kung wala kaming games, or Sunday, sabi sa amin my coach was a priest also. He was a good soccer player. Oh, let's go to Tondo. They have a soccer field there. We go play with them. And, you know, sometimes, you know, you go play with them, makita mo lahat sila nakapaa.
Oo.
Then, you know,
Yes.
you basically end up with all your uniforms you're giving out to them. And yung shoot mo na lang na, hindi, kasi kung ano maibibigay mo ba, ibigay mo na. And you will find that
Kasi it's your opportunity.
when they play and pagtapos ng game, yung mga bolang iiwan ninyo or whatever it is, you give out, you know. And up to this very time, many of the students that came under our care, we always would encourage them to experience. Because if you have been given more in life and others don't have as much, share it. Share what you have. And that sets you up as a
Parang
person.
si Jason, no? Our
Yeah.
nephew, Jason.
There is opportunities like that of service. And for those individuals who are always longing for such wanting to do something that is serving others, those opportunities will come your way. There will always be those insights that come to your, not because it's coming from your heart eh. Yung mga ganyang uring activity, puso yan eh. You know.
Actually, meron mga tao nga kahit, sabihin natin, like, when you go and see some people who don't even have the basics, no? So, it touches your heart, no? Parang, it tugs at your heart, Parang, I have to do something, I have to give,
Yeah.
And actually, itong ganitong feeling is what we call compassion.
Right.
Diba? Compassion is when you want to help when you see others suffering. And it's a very wonderful characteristic to have, a value to have, wanting to help people.
There's a quote here by Lakbay Gulay, from Lakbay Gulay. Thank you so much, very much, Gopalakas. This Bible quote is such a great reminder for all. Philippians 2,
Verse 3
verse 3 and 4. Instead of being motivated by selfish ambition or vanity, each
of you should, in
Each of
humility, be moved to treat one another as more important than yourself. Each of you should be concerned not only about your own interests, but about the interests of others as well.
Yes.
Yan.
And then from Ananda Teves, she said, I remember when we volunteered to help the Yolanda victims in Stanza, Iloilo. We fed
Estancia,
almost
yeah.
Estancia, yeah.
Yeah.
We fed almost 3,000 people a day, and we installed water pumps and helped them sanitize their wells. It was a very happy experience.
Yan, very nice. Memorable, di ba nagiging
Yeah.
memorable,
it's far-reaching yan eh. And then
Yeah.
sometimes you get the itch all the time. And when you're seeing people in need, or at least ikaw komportable sa lugar mo. Many times what we always did as even farmers, we live in a farm, but you can only get so much But when you start to share what you have, it's a different ball game. Share your seeds, share whatever. Dito sa amin sa farming community, seeds is what they need.
Yes.
So yeah, your seeds, you give them organic
Sometimes we give
fertilizer.
them tools.
Meron nga
But hi,
kahit
that's not a small thing. 3,000 people a day.
Yeah.
cooking for 3,000 people. That's a big
At saka
endeavor.
the water
oh.
pumps, that's really important.
Yeah, these are all
Basic
up
siya
to,
na.
up to
Yeah.
this very
Very
time,
needed.
people always would remember that.
Yes.
Hindi mo
You
talaga
know,
malimutan
yan ang kagandahan
ganyan,
yan
oo.
That's why yung approach rin natin sa pagtulong dun sa mga Yolanda victims at that time was beyond 90 days, hindi ba? I think that
Yeah.
was
Yes.
The idea was not
Stay
just to
beyond
stay on the
slogan,
immediate. And as of late,
Beyond
we
90.
there's so much. We give water filters, we give, tuloy-tuloy lang yan eh.
And what was that other typhoon before Yolanda? You were giving out water.
Kasi
Kasi most
most
of the time-
Ondoy and Pepeng
Yes,
in
oo.
in
Yeah.
Metro
Manila.
Manila,
Oo.
yes.
Kasi
Puro is-
normally they get dry things, yeah.
Oo.
Puro
Oh,
noodle,
yeah,
delata, but then
Hindi
we
nila
give out
maluto.
water.
Even during this
Clean
pandemic,
water.
Yes.
puro history naman yung sinasabi niyo eh. Ano naman yung updated?
Hindi
Di
namin
ba?
malimutan yan. Sarap kasi.
Hindi, may practical insights kasi sometimes nga, yung sinasabi natin na you give practical things they can already consume there and then,
Yeah.
because water, sabi, ay salamat ma'am, kasi nagtatai yung mga anak namin, talagang they were getting sick, and that's worse, if the kids get sick under those situations. So it was very essential to their survival.
They
And
really
we
went
should
for the
also
water.
be
Oo.
always forward-looking and not, sometimes with disasters, it brings out the best or worst of a person. May ganyan yan eh. But if a person who is experienced rendering service or helping, it is always so, sa buhay niya, ng isang tao niya, kumbaga may seed niyan sa puso niya eh. Na-plant ang seed niya eh. Yan, yung halaman niya, tumutubo yan continuously. That's why, sa ating mga buhay, if we have been given more in life, we should always share it.
Oh, yes.
That's the best
And
thing.
that's exactly what
Yes.
Merly is sharing with us today. Thank you.
Oh, sinabi niya yung sinabi mo.
Yes.
O, yan.
Yeah.
Okay. And then from Gemini, then, Harry
Oh,
Ball.
Rose.
Rose. Okay. So, very, ang sharing natin, pati yung mga listeners natin, nagsishare sila sa atin. And actually, makes everybody happy to hear these wonderful things, no?
Okay.
There,
Wait.
sabi rin ni Imelda, sabi niya, even if you don't have much material things, at times, our prayers and influence on those
who do is the best we can do to help. To be
Yeah.
able to help. This is
Oo.
such nice thing.
And
As a
for Myra Muriel, as a fellow teacher, I have derived so much happiness and passion from sharing what life lessons I have experienced through the years. Yet daily, by God's mercy, there is still much to learn and share with others. It's a cycle of giving and receiving throughout your life that creates joy. Very
Very
nice.
nice.
Thank you for
Nice.
sharing that. Mm-mm.
Kaya nga yung mga teachers, very very helpful to everyone, no?
It's a selfless job, I mean, it's a thankless job sometimes, teaching talagang. It's about giving and giving talaga.
And actually, mga sakripisyo ng mga teachers, no? Even now, sa
Even
pandemic.
now,
And
oo.
also the sacrifices, syempre, we acknowledge yung mga frontliners natin who are sacrificing and sharing, their time and their energy to help save people. It's very notable and very noble
Yes.
sacrifice.
You know, there-
And as
They're
Francis
asked-
says, Francis God
Time is
says,
gold.
time is gold. And that's what our teachers give us. They give us gold, all their
Yes.
time.
Uy, mayaman. Gold na yung sinashare.
Ang
Yan
hirap
ang
kaya,
maganda,
Alam mo,
no?
we live at the farm. And wala dun internet, walang signal. We have to walk up the hill to get signal. Every time I walk up there, I thank all the teachers. I know their teachers doing this, looking for signal para makapagturo
Oh,
lang
even
sila.
students are doing
Oo.
that, Here, and there's another one from Mahatma Gandhi. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
Wonderful.
Yan. So, yung pagka outward view, hindi ba? Not looking just into what I don't have and, what I want and everything, getting frustrated and miserable with what you're going through in your life. But when you look outside, look at others and serve them, then you actually find yourself also in, who you are and what your happiness is in life,
There's so many opportunities of service. We're almost ending our show this morning. And, for those of you who have been supporting us and coming along, thank you so much for always being present and supportive of what we do. The world, we need to bring about changes a person's heart from being hard to being a heart that loves and which is full of goodness and sharing this to others. And we are born in this world as human beings to have this opportunity. We are given that opportunity to be able to make the right choices in life. And by nature, it is through service, and only service that will give us satisfaction. If we are not engaged in any type of service, you won't be happy. True happiness is based on serving. That is the very root of pleasure. Then the happiness can just be measured based on to whom and who are you serving. May ganyan pa nga
Oo.
May levels na ganon So by nature, we are servants. If you want to be happy, you want to be satisfied, it is only in service that we can experience this.
So,
Again, have a nice weekend to everybody.
thank you.
Thank you so much to everybody. Sana hindi kayo magsawa. And please continue sharing, Continue sharing. Take care.
Take care. Thank you.
Ingat kayo lahat. Okay.
Thank you.
Pangkalusugan, pangkalikasan, Gopalakas.